YouTube, welcome back. My name is Gillis the Kid. I'm here again with Mike. We're doing a different type of review. We've just watched The Founder by Michael Keaton, and he's basically founded McDonald's from the ground up.
Right. It was based on a true story.
And it also stars Linda Cardellini. And she was famous for Freaks and Geeks. It was a TV sitcom show a while back, and she's also playing in a TV show with the girl who played on Married with Children.
Kelly Bundy.
Yeah.
I mean, Christian Applegate played Kelly Bundy on the show in Married with Children.
And then so it starts off in
1954.
Yep.
He basically, as we said, Michael Keaton plays Ray Kroc. He starts off as he's a milkshake. He sells a milkshake milkshake machines. Mm-hmm. He tries to he just goes to different places, different like milkshake stands or restaurant stands. He tries to offer he makes a whole speech on his machine, but they kept turning him down.
All right.
Yeah.
The one thing I always wonder is who made the milkshake machines. So
yeah, that was that company, right? What was this company called?
It was.
It was.
Well, he had a private company.
Yeah, it was a private company.
And then eventually they called him.
Right.
For 8 machines.
Right. It doesn't say the company, but yeah, it was a company that he worked for.
So yeah, he takes the milkshake machines to San Bernardino, California.
Different places, right?
And then he sells it to them. But he was kind of surprised that they needed that many machines to make all the milkshakes. Mm-hmm. And most amazing thing about the movie is when they gave the tour of like how everything was made.
Right. Yeah. Remember the beginning when he first pulled in into McDonald's. He was just like looking around. He was like just looking at the atmosphere, looking around and everything. And then, I remember when he went to order his food. Remember, he told him what he wanted, and literally right after he ordered it, the guy had the soda in the bag.
Later.
It was like 30 seconds later, and he's like, what's this? It's your food. I just ordered it. And there it is. Where do I eat it? In your car? In the park? At home?
So back in the 50s, like drive-thrus was very popular, and a lot of people just drove up and they put their food on the side of the window, and that was it. Like, they took your trash and everything.
Right. It's like they had it all. They had the system already made. Mm-hmm. And we'll get to that in a second. Yeah, as we said, he starts. He sits down. He starts to eat, and that's when one of the McDonald, I forget which brother it was. It was Dick or Mac. One of them came over to him. That's when they introduced themselves, and that's when he finally gave him the tour. And they saw.
It was Mac because he showed him the little picture on top of the restaurant.
Was it Mac?
Yeah.
Okay, Mac was the one. Okay, right. And he gives him the whole tour. You see how they have it at the stations of all how the burgers are made. You see them cooking the burgers, and you see the buns. Yeah. How they put the drops of the ketchup and the mustard. They put.
So they made a machine where they
like squirts.
Well, not an actual machine, but sort of like a cone where the ketchup and mustard would.
Right. And they're like squirts. Right. They're like dots. It was squirt like little dots. And they said that, that's when they put the pickles on there. They put the burgers on there. 2 pickles. And then they wrap. And then one guy.
Sprinkle of onions.
A lot of stuff. Sprinkle of onions, and then they you see them wrapping it up, and then they put them in the bin. And then they have the French, and then you see the French fries where they make the fries.
Right.
That's when remember when the brother saw the one fry, he's like
fries with no salt, I might add.
Or no salt. It was crispy or something.
Yeah.
And that's when Kim was like, it was like, wow, I actually like it. It's pretty good.
Mm-hmm. So the one thing that amazed me is like the system that they had.
Right.
They created like a system where they had a lot of room to work.
Right.
And it just basically went around in a circle.
Right. And then later on, eventually, he treated Ray Kroc treated the McDonald's brothers to dinner, and that's when they were telling how it all started. Mm-hmm. They were like going from like the beginning when they were starting to acting. They were trying to do what they were doing. Like,
they told them like
movies,
their life story basically.
Right, movies or when they started doing McDonald's, they had it so many different ways. Like they tried the fireworks, it didn't work. Then they had like
it was
like
the fireworks
or firecrackers.
It brought out all the flies.
All the flies. Yeah, it's like they had a few tries before it became the actual actual restaurant. But that's when eventually I think they closed. Yeah, they closed. They were closed, and that's when the people started.
Mm-hmm.
They just started coming out of nowhere. Or that's when the little kid came. He's like, "We're closed." It's like, wait. What kind of gift for? Yeah. Like
he ordered like a whole bag of hamburgers.
It was like 3 burgers. I think he ordered like 3 burgers. Yeah. That's what he kept saying. There's like another one came.
Did they have cheese on them though?
They weren't. I don't think. That's
the only thing I.
Yeah, it looked like at the time they weren't putting cheese. It wasn't cheeseburgers. They were just actual hamburgers.
Because he went into a panic when they put lettuce on it. Remember?
Well, that was later on, right? That was But yeah, it looked like they didn't have the cheese yet, and that's when finally because then Ray Kroc came back later on. And that's when he was like, he finally got a car, and that's when he went, franchise it.
Yeah.
Franchise it. There should be McDonald's everywhere. I'm telling you, I think McDonald's will be it's very popular. I think we can make own the business together and all that. That's when they said we tried it already, Ray.
But so after that, he actually did make a deal with them.
Right.
It was like a handshake deal at first.
Well, first Ray did sign. He did sign a few documents.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's when at the McDonald's he was talking about what he would offer for it and everything, and that's when they told Ray, give us something to talk about it, and then they gave the proposal. He signed. He kept signing sheets, a few clipboards, and they shook the hands.
Right.
And the partnership began.
But when you think about it, like Ray, he did do a lot of the sales work and stuff.
He did, yeah. He built he kept adding different McDonald's everywhere eventually.
All the investors basically came from him,
right,
and his wife at the time.
Right.
And
then and so remember eventually one of his employees he became interested in. Fred was Fred Turner. The guy.
Yeah.
The guy. I mean, the movie. His name was Fred Turner. I don't know his real name, but that's He said he's like, "What's your name, Fred Turner?" And he's like, Fred Turner.
He remembered all of the good people
that
he was going to promote because Fred Turner worked on the the grill.
Right. He thought he did a good job the way it was set up and everything, and eventually, you see him later. He had the suit. He had the suit on and everything.
Well, he couldn't figure. Remember, he was telling everybody like, do this and do that, and then he got to him, and he's like, it was already perfect.
Right.
Like he couldn't say anything about him. Jeez. Eventually he meets that other guy and his wife.
That would be that's what you're talking about at the restaurant. Right?
Yeah.
It's Raleigh Smith and his wife Joan. That's of course the girl you were talking about.
Linda.
That's her, right? She plays Joan. And and that's when Keaton became, or Ray Kroc in the movie, I should say. It was Ray Kroc. He started to take a liking to her. He became attracted to her,
right?
Because she was the one. Eventually, she just started coming up with ideas and everything. Mm-hmm. And the other people at the and at the regular club, the other club they used to go to. Remember the people that he met there? He offered business.
Oh yeah, the rich, golf club owners.
Right, and that's what led into when they signed a deal, they had their McDonald's up, but that's when they had the messed up ones like the chicken, the fried chicken, and all that. They had different
they added extra stuff to the menu like barbecue and
right, but chicken biscuits and everything, and
that was funny, the chicken biscuits.
Right. And then of course, like you said earlier on, the one McDonald's where they had the lettuce, mm-hmm. which that's when he ran on the golf course while they're playing golf. And he's like, what is this? Yeah. What's this? It's lettuce. Look, this burger's not.
It did look nasty.
Cooked. Yeah, the burger wasn't. The burger's not cooked all the way.
It's funny how lettuce and tomatoes wasn't a thing back then.
Right.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure it was, but he just didn't want lettuce and tomatoes on the burger at the time. And
then he told his wife at the time, he's like, we're not going back. We're not going back there anymore. We're canceling our membership and all that. And that's what And that's when he said. And that's when they went to the other restaurant. That's of course where he met Joan, and her husband too. Of course, she was a piano player.
Right.
And that's when they sung "Pennies in Heaven." Pennies in Heaven together.
I think the one thing about him is like when he saw something, he automatically knew he wanted it. You know.
That's what I said. He became.
Oh yeah. Then he told his wife like, "I want a divorce."
Later on, he did. Right. Well, that's what happened because she was coming up. She was coming up with all the ideas. Joan did. She was coming up with all these ideas, and he was liking the ideas and everything. And that's what it was. It's like she was helping, literally helping him with the ideas and everything. And that's what. And obviously
Did she divorce? They never showed her like divorcing her husband though.
They did though, but they didn't show. Yeah, even on the Wikipedia, and they did eventually divorce, and then of course they did get married, and they were married until Ray Kroc's death, I think in 1984. So they were married eventually.
So they were married for a while.
They were married for a long time. Yeah, it was it was 1970. Towards the end of the movie, it was 1970. But, so the franchise got bigger. Different McDonald's were popping up.
The only problem is they were kind of dirty.
Right.
Yeah. Because the whole purpose was to have it like family oriented, so it would keep away all the teenagers and jitterbugs, as they called it back then.
And of course, it was getting to the point also where they had where Dick and Mac, they needed to have approvals. What Ray was doing, and they got to the points where they were getting frustrated and everything, and
they had say so, but only for like the inside of the restaurant,
right?
Yeah, which is, kind of a sneaky way of doing things, but
well, that's what it was. He was doing things under their backs. They eventually found out about it, and they had to kept calling his office. He's Dick's on the phone, Mac's on the phone, and they'd say, what's going on here, Ray? You're not supposed, gotta talk about these things first.
By that time, he was so big and so rich, like they just couldn't. There was nothing they could do.
Right, and of course, eventually, what was it? It was Mac, right? Then we was talking to Mac. That's when he had the heart attack.
Yeah.
Eventually, he got because he was getting frustrated.
I knew that was gonna happen.
You said it yourself. Yeah, he's like because he was.
This is my first time seeing the movie, and I knew that was gonna happen because he said he was diabetic. So.
Right.
Like he got, his blood pressure and everything, and then he just passed out. It was funny because then he showed up at the hospital with the flowers. Like they were surprised that he. Yeah.
And also, even the guy, the guy at the bank. Remember, he was talking to, when he was talking to his, was it the bank guy? Remember the guy next, the guy he was the one that heard everything in the back. He became like his, eventually he became like his agent.
Yeah, that's right.
Because remember, that's what he said. I heard you talking, and maybe I can help you, Ray. I can help you, Ray. And that's what he told. That's what he told me. He says, I can help you. You can turn. Not just burgers, it's the land. You can buy the land.
Yeah. And
you can take control over Dick and Mac McDonald.
Yeah, he was just a mastermind at getting people to bend to his will. Right. Basically.
And real fast with Joe, remember she was the one that came up with the idea for the Insta Shakes.
Yeah.
Of course the brothers weren't approve of that. They didn't approve of that at the time.
Powdered milkshakes.
Yeah, they didn't like that. But he still put the body. He still put them out. But as we were saying in the hospital, when Mac was after Mac had the heart attack, that's when he found out that's when Ray Kroc eventually he changed it to the McDonald's Corporation.
Yep.
Of course,
once you did that, it was pretty much game over for them because they were just. In charge of that local restaurant.
Right,
they couldn't really. Right.
That's when he gave him. The blank check.
And he told him like, if you take me to court, like you don't have the funds to fight me anyway.
Right.
But I mean, all in all, it was a pretty good movie.
Right.
The best part for me was actually seeing how they made the hamburgers back then, and for 15 cents.
Right.
That's insane.
Back in the day, everything was cheap. 15 cents. I guess the fries and drinks are 15 cents. I don't know. And then of course also as we were saying they offered the blank check, and then they were gonna that's when they were again they had another meeting towards the end working out the deal with the royal they were gonna give him the royalties,
right?
Which of course. You found out that
was a handshake deal that they couldn't prove.
That was the handshake. Yeah, I know. no offense to the brothers, that's how dumb they were. You know, they still shook his hand.
Mhm.
And then right, and of course you know what happened at the end. That's when eventually they took down their McDonald's sign, and and that's when they built a McDonald's across their McDonald's, which they started their local McDonald's.
That was so messed up.
That's when he took they drew that one out of business, and that's so it was kind of sad at the end. That I mean, it's safe to say Ray Kroc was a creep. He was a jerk at the end, obviously. But that's what happened. But still today, he built the franchise, and it's they never got the royalties, and but today, if they said if they would have gotten it, it would have been
$100 something million dollars.
It was over 100, right?
And they show you like the real actors at the end of the movie. Too.
Right, you found out. Well, yeah, that's what happened, and then you find like at the end, if you've seen the movie, you see the real Ray Kroc at the end. He gives a clip of him talking about McDonald's, and then you see all the stuff that happens in between with the people, with what happened afterwards.
Right.
But Ray Kroc, he passed away in 1984. That's what happened. And at the end of the movie too, that's when
And his wife gave all his money away, didn't she? To like charity.
I think that's what it was. Yeah. And also at the end of the movie too, you see Ray, Michael Keaton. That is, he was getting ready to make that speech. He had his tuxedo on. He was gonna, make the speech about McDonald's and everything. But definitely, it's a great movie. I mean, it kind of has it has a setting for the brothers, but it's a great movie. And Michael Keaton, I think he did a great job. I mean, he's one of my favorite actors. One of my favorite actors. Love him to death. Batman, Beetlejuice. So.
Which I hear they're making a Beetlejuice too. So I don't know how real that is. But
I didn't.
I hope they are.
Yeah. I didn't see if Keaton's coming back to play. Hope he does.
But
that'd be good. So.
Michael Keaton's good. He even looked and talked like the guy too.
Oh, yeah.
That's what made it more like believable. So.
Well, it's like remember in Batman with Nicholson in the apartment when he yells at him, he goes, you want to get nuts? Come on, let's get nuts.
Yeah, he had the poker in his hand.
Yeah, the fireplace. So he had a little Beetlejuice in that one.
Yeah.
And also, even the Desperate Measures. If anybody saw the movie Desperate Measures, he was a killer. He was like a psycho killer in that movie. I don't know if you remember that. That was like 1998.
I do. Yeah.
That was with I forgot the actor's name, but his son needed the bone marrow transplant.
He was like a maniac.
Yeah, that's what it was, and he had the maniac. It matched his. Yeah, it matched the. He had the DNA for it, and of course, eventually he escapes. Oh, Garcia. What's the actor's name? Garcia. I forget. That's his last name.
I know you're talking about.
Yeah. If you've seen the movie, if you've seen the movie, we know what we're talking about. But he has a little Beetlejuice yelling that one too. He has one of the guards like hostage, and he yells at him. So.
Yep. So definitely check it out. It's a really good.
It is great movie.
Really good movie.
It's based on a true story. It's about it's how McDonald's became what it is today, and you learn you learn the history how it is.
The people were different back then too.
Oh yeah.
So you could tell like with the passion, the way they cooked the burgers and stuff. It was just a completely different experience.
As we said before, they had the way it was set up, the station, and everything when they were. They were tossing and turn with the trays. They would move around. It was like they had it all planned.
It was an organized system.
Right. It was all planned out.
The burgers were good. There was no salt on the fries.
Right.
The shakes were authentic. And wait, didn't he order he ordered a burger, fries, and a soft drink for like 35 cents?
It was something like that. Yeah.
Insane.
And he got it like you said. Got it even less. I think even less than 30 seconds. I think after he put the order in, the guy
he just handed it.
He said, that's what he said. He's like, "What's that? Your order."
Yeah.
So very good. Though.
There you have it. That's another one in the books. The Founder, starring Michael Keaton. We'll drop all the links down into the description so you can definitely check it out. Is it on Blu-ray though?
Yes, it is. It is on Blu-ray and DVD. Yeah, you can buy. They have in one of those the combo packs together. So.
Nice. Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah. So I think we pretty much covered everything.
I think we got it. We just skimmed through it, but for what we remember,
right.
We gave little little highlights,
Yeah.
tour of the movie. So and like I said, if you've seen it, and if you've seen it already, you know what we're talking about. So definitely. So.
But yeah, as always, we'll have some more reviews coming up pretty soon. I want to thank you once again for coming.
Thank you for having me, sir.
Yep. And as always, we will catch you on the next one. Peace.